going to dive straight into it. There are no more questions to ask of us beyond who is going to win this. And I'm afraid, don't have the answer to those questions. You think Mr. Bomb's going to take it by purely off the fact that, well, you know the name. But I think Polycrystal has something for us. Why don't you take us away with these starting moves here?
I mean, I'm sure we're going to see... We saw from Willibomb that workshop. We're going to see push towards the center. Get one other workshop from Polycrystal. Sensing a theme in these turn zeros. But, I mean, really, it's just reacting to the map, seeing where you are, like, able to go, where there's actually going to be villages, then working with what you're given here. And we're getting two different things that they're given. They're both pushed towards each other, like southwest, northeast. But one to a ruin, one to a village. And you just kind of take what's given to you. Like, I'm sure that Polycrystal would have preferred a village being a, like, turn zero. Like, if you're a tribe like Jin, sure, take the ruin. But a Zebasi, you want the villages. You want to start upgrading them immediately. Everything like that. But you just take what the map gives. And, yeah, they're right next to each other. Population ruin is fantastic, too. So I think that warrior was definitely headed up north. And we know where the village is. There's a single tile where a village could be around there.
Fun little statistic here, by the way. This is the first game, I'm back with it, that an opponent, that a player has seen their opponent before seeing their first unclaimed village. In the case of Polycrystal. Now, obviously, Willibomb doesn't, well, I stand corrected. He now does know exactly where Polycrystal is. What do you think of these two sort of starts? Which one would you prefer to be in control of?
I like Willibomb's for the fact that he actually has a village. Like, in these early confrontations, just having more cities. Having two cities against one. Like, this is how you start winning the game. But I think construction was the wrong play, though. I think he needed to go into riding and start getting some riders. Like, if he, dominates the map with riders, like, I think he has a pretty, easy path to victory here. But,
you may have made a different choice had he not been sleep deprived. Do you want to give us some backstory on that?
It's every week. We got our Polytopia group, watch terrible movies. I don't know, we watched, Big Bad CGI Monsters, also known as Ebola Rex versus Murder Hornets. It was kind of exactly what you'd expect it to be.
You can see that.
And Willibomb's there, like, watching it. And he's like, I don't need to sleep, I just need to watch Murder Hornets, Ebola Rex.
Maybe he needs to get hyped up for the game, you know? Maybe that's the plan. Yeah.
Like, we always encourage him, like, you should stay rested, we want to see you, like, make it to, like, Stockholm. You're part of the group, Be cool. He's like, no, it's fine, I can make it. And so far, he's, like, kept qualifying, but not making it.
Yeah.
Always if, always when. Hasn't happened yet, Willibomb.
It could
get some sleep
be this time. Well, look, I'm just saying, the strategy has worked thus far, and he has beaten out 1,600 other people to get it to the final 3 players here. Maybe he doesn't need sleep. Maybe he's taking micro naps on his enemy's turn. I just can't tell you.
Whoa.
What I can tell you, though, turn 5 giant for Polycrystal. Again, a name that you're not familiar with. How likely is it, do you think he's going to grab those, be able to grab those little villages over to the east?
It seems difficult for Willibomb to contest it.
Okay.
Really. Like, those warriors are already in motion, like, heading over towards there. The giant's going to be supporting them, and it's going to be coming sooner. So Willibomb's, like, idea with going ahead, picking up, like, the going construction, stealing villages like that, he's just going to end up with a later giant than Polycrystal.
Having said that, Polycrystal doesn't know that those villages are there. Obviously, he can kind of intuit the surrounding areas, but doesn't know exactly specifically where they are. And has also taken construction as well.
See an explorer here.
Yeah, he's gonna find out now, though.
Get all that vision he needs.
Ooh.
Yeah, gonna run up this way. This is like kind of ideal. I mean, you would have liked to get the North Lighthouse, but seems unlikely that you're getting Eye of God like this anyways. Like the game's going to be decided before that happens. But you just keep pushing your warriors east and you're gonna find like these villages that you're looking for. We're going to see a border growth from Willibomb or just the giant straight away. Giant straight away. I like it. I like it. Imagine he's gonna run back. Yeah. Retreat with his warriors a little bit and try to police that village in the south. There's gonna be some competition, but it is a question of how they compete.
Well, right now they
Willibomb
have...
Central City.
Yep, please.
Yeah, no. Oh, yeah. Willibomb Central City is difficult to defend, or at least that giant is there, but you want your giant to be attacking. You don't want it to be like dealing with warriors and like only there to stop a siege. Like he can't train a rider on that city to help deal with like a warrior stepping on this unclaimed village that Polycrystal's just revealed.
There is obviously a difference in information. It's asymmetric after all. So Polycrystal hopefully will start to look to clear some of that fog of war. Obviously, he did have that explorer to go all the way to the north and east. Didn't quite get that lighthouse he potentially was looking for. Now he has to wonder how best to respond to the hand he's been dealt.
Yeah, just another giant.
It's just not a terrible way to respond, is it? If in doubt.
No, I mean, look at these window spots.
Look at that.
Like, they're ridiculous.
2 giants on turn 7.
Another 13 stars for him to pick up another giant down in the south. And then you just send those 3 giants into Willibomb and say, what are you going to do about it? And Willibomb says, I don't know. He's also making me regret my earlier suggestion of riders to, you know, keep them off that northwest village because
I don't think it would have helped. How do you think Willibomb should counter this then?
He wants to get, like, that is a really good question. He can get more giants of his own. Like, his big thing is that he's going to be up, like, a single village. But it's kind of look at the coordination of his villages just on the map. Like, this Zala city is kind of isolated. He's eventually, if he runs his warrior east right now, he's going to end up giving up the village, like, southeast to his opponent. And he doesn't really have a choice about that either. Because if he keeps his warriors where they are, he'll lose one of them. So Willibomb has to move east, pick up that village. And those 2 cities, Zala and this new one he's picking up, are really isolated from everything else. He's going to, use his giant to counterattack, but he needs to defend this Zala city. So he's probably going to pick up a giant on his capital, send that down to defend. And then maybe he goes into, like, hunting and archers, or, like, some ranged units to try to pick up the rest of the damage.
Okay, I've written down everything you've said. If it doesn't happen entirely in the order you said it, you're fine. Not that I have the power or ability to do that, but that's what's happening.
He did run east to that village.
He did run east. That's number 1 on the list.
So
all right, let's see.
The next thing is he needs to pick up like a giant on his capital.
Yep. Let's see if he does that.
And then he'll have to like spam warriors or maybe, I say maybe just because it's so expensive, hunting and archery on like 5 cities.
Here we go.
Maybe he'll go for archers.
Number 2 picks up a warrior on Zola. Is that Zala?
So like
or
some
Zola?
warrior spam. Zala.
Zala,
right?
I apologize.
I see it.
To the people at home watching from Zala, I apologize.
You act like you've just never heard of them. You think like Zala's
bad.
irrelevant or something.
I apologize. Sorry, my family was staunch Yazumo supporters.
Whoa.
Yeah, live on air.
I didn't think we were gonna get political on this stream.
I didn't start bringing up what I think of the Zimmos. But hey, anyway, let's move on. Now, what do you think that Polycrystal's going to be trying to do with those 2 giants? Do you think he's going to send them straight, or do you think he's going to get a little bit of support now?
I was I had a question about why he didn't just pick up a giant down in that southern city. But the idea is, like, look where his stars actually went, that Yazumo city. He wants to get a giant on there the next turn and defend from Willibomb's push. He's going to send these other giants all to Zala because it's very difficult for Willibomb to defend that. For Will's sake, he's going to be able to go ahead with his 2 giants, like the one from his capital. He's going to back up with his other one. But he's in a really
There you go, hunting archery.
I feel so
Cooled
good. I'm not
every
fired.
single one. That's nice. Cooled every
But yeah,
single play.
Willibomb needs to defend, really. I think it's not a bad ruin. It's not a great ruin, but
Well, it's a ruin.
Complain about
it's
it.
one of the ruins of all
Yeah.
time, some might say. A whelming
I'd say
ruin. Alright, picks up some writing here. Okay.
Yeah, the riders are nice. Like, you know, you gotta mix up your army. There's a way of thinking about like the composition of your units in your army in Polytopia that I've heard some people like a great deal. But they think about it like, you know, one whole body, you know. If the giants are like your torso, they're gonna take a beating and they're gonna like be able to dish it out. You need to like support it with like some limbs as
Who
well.
fights with the torso? Dish it out with the torso. Plus, these people have never taken a body shot before. This is you want to
like,
take hits on your arms. What? What a terrible analogy for
You
the
do, you
Polytopia
do.
community.
Some people really like this one
That's
though.
a, I mean, okay. There's a lot of people like that are terrible. Pineapple on pizza, for example. Like the list can go on. Marmite. Like just because people like it doesn't mean it's a good thing. God, you put me in I'm in a horrible mood now. I was just excited to watch some Polytopia, and now I'm just listening to this. Anyway, what do you think? What do you think Willibomb's going to just to try and get on track and frankly distract myself from my incandescent rage? What's the likelihood he's going to be able to defend Zala? Do you think?
You just look at the number of archers.
Yeah, it's hefty.
This is why we're seeing like because well, that's the thing. You don't want your giants to take damage. You don't want your torso to get hit by that. You want like your supporting limbs to be the ones like the warriors and such take those hits instead. And then you need like to swing like with your arms basically.
Sure.
Like your archers are going to be ones dealing damage, and the opposite of that is you're trying to like incapacitate your opponent. You're trying to take out like those archers. You get riders, you put them on roads, and then they can run up, like hit all the archers, run away.
Well, he's got the riders. The legs, I guess, in this analogy.
But yeah, this is the Polytopia's pineapple and pizza analogy.
Right. Well, I will also point out that it feels to me Polycrystal playing a little faster than Willibomb. What do you think of him so far? You said he's an unknown, one that you don't understand. He's not in the group chat watching movies when he should be sleeping. What do you think of his gameplay so far?
I like it. Well, I was, if you look at, who they like defeated in order to get here in the first place, like we saw Astria, like big dictator, we've seen him before, like in the Kiku finals, like Vengear last year made it to the very last round, I think, before losing to Crocs. Like he's been like a mainstay of the competitive like Polytopia for like as long as I've been here. And he got 2-0'd by Polycrystal.
It's true.
I didn't see those games, but like I'm like, that's feat enough. I'm already impressed.
I'm ready to see it.
And like what I've seen in this game has been like nothing short of inspiring as well. Like identifying like the way that you want to play it. I mean, there was some nice stuff with the population ruin, but
well, we were talking about Zala, but it does look like Izumo, apparently my family home, that's going to be under assault here. How do you think Polycrystal needs to respond?
Well, the giant has health, and you only have 3 riders, like even if you get roads that can reach in time. So you are losing the city, but fortunately for you, you have a giant at full health right next to it. Unfortunately for you, Willibomb has archers and his own full health giant that he's going to send in there. So you're probably just going to... I think he split his attack too much. Like he realized that he wasn't putting as much pressure on Zala as he would have liked. And he started sending this giant to Yabalmo, but put more pressure on Zala because like with Zala uncontested, with you not fighting over there, now Willibomb is able to just push everything. I can't count, actually. I'm sorry, he's unsieging. This is actually, if Arthur were here right now, current world champion Arthur. This is the kind of thing that he would make fun of me for. Like,
Oh, I'm here to do that.
he
as
would
well.
not stop. Yeah,
worry, I
and
can
to be
fulfill
honest,
that
it's
role.
fair.
Right. Well, with Yabomo under siege, Yazumo liberated. Let's see how Willibomb decides to respond. He does have a plethora of archers, able to throw a hail of arrows at the enemy, but will that be enough? Kozaza now under siege, an assault close to Yazumo to try and whittle down the giant. And another siege of Yazumo, denying, of course, Polycrystal those valuable stars. Now, is it enough? I have to say, I think you are correct in saying that there was not enough pressure going towards Zaba.
Yeah, because, like, what have we gained from, like, we let Willibomb have this huge attack over to the west, like, all these archers that we're not contesting, this full health giant that's headed over there. We're going to have to unsiege. Well, I guess he could unsiege with the 2 riders, but he'd have to sacrifice one of them for that. But he's probably going to end up losing that city now. And what he got from, like, on Yabomo is this level 1 city that's, I mean, just frankly terrible. Just, it's not a good city. I forgot about his rider outside of Willibomb's vision. Forgive me again. So, Kozaza needs to go, that warrior there. How does he want to do this? He needs to sacrifice, yeah, he's going to sacrifice the warrior and then unsiege with the rider. Which one, though? Which one does he want to heal with? Probably heal with the 4 health, unsiege with the 2 health. There we go. But yeah, the big cost of, you know, that unsiege with the roads in Willibomb's attack was what we saw last turn, where Polycrystal just didn't have, like, stars to train into units. It just opened themselves up for those sieges. And now we're going to see, like, I'm sure Willibomb's just going to siege Izumo again and then just shoot that giant, like, 4 or 5 archers. Maybe Willibomb wants to go ahead and pick up some roads as well. Road and some archers get some more hits as... Maybe he's just going to take, like, cheap shots on the Yabomo giant. Like, the idea behind getting riders was a smart one. Like, you need the riders to counter the archers, because your giants alone, you have so many giants, but they can't deal with it. But you have your giants up front, taking all these hits. Like, the timing is just not working out. The riders are not dealing damage to the archers fast enough. Willibomb's attack was a little too strong. And now you're in a position where you don't even want to train, like, a unit on Kozaza, because then you're giving up a siege there. And, like, how are you unsieging that? Like, units that you want to be using to attack these archers. So what does he do? Like, he's gonna get sieged on Izumo regardless, so he can, like, really train a single unit on his capital. And basically nothing else. Yeah, the other problem is Willibomb, if he gets some roads, he's able to just bounce one of his riders into that Kozaza city if you don't train anything. It's like a real catch-22. And yeah, Polycrystal's looking at this, like, there's no other time when you're gonna use this clock, so fully support its, like, investment on there. Okay. So roads are secured with 8 kills. The plan is to connect with roads for 1 population, and then use the killer monument to get the last population needed to push another giant on Izumo, so not lose that city. And the city count is in Polycrystal's favor now after the Yabomo transfer.
Transfer is a wild way to put that, by the way. Hostile takeover, perhaps.
We're not seeing roads from Willibomb yet. I imagine we're gonna see them next turn. Maybe he gets climbing since this Yabo warrior.
It's gonna be really hard to assault anything close to all of those archers, though.
Yeah. I think he was a little greedy with where he moved these archers and such.
You think?
Like, because he's giving his opponent the killer monument.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he would have had enough riders to unsiege with the giant if he didn't shoot, I think. So
I don't know. I think this counts as a moral victory, personally. He's gonna get a village out.
But there's still a game. There's still a game happening here.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Again, it just kind of, when you're dealing with this many units, all it takes is a single mistake. And then suddenly there's an opening. Not that I'm suggesting that a knight's going to come anytime soon, but it's a great exemplifier of just a single gap can be exploited. Alright, 10 kills. Organization.
Oh, he's gonna use org? I thought he was just going to connect with road.
There we go.
Get that. Doesn't really matter. Same idea, really. Get a giant. Population by any means necessary. Yeah, you gotta bounce that rider forwards, otherwise. Well, now you gotta train. You have to like train for the warriors then. But now he's opening Kazaza up to getting sieged, like constant and siege. And the problem is, there's enough archers over in the east as well that the giant gets attacked and sieged. And the roads are, yeah, I think we're going to see a devastating attack this turn.
You think?
Yeah, I think we're going to see 2 cities sieged, and then the archers just continue their reign of terror over in the west.
You have been right, to be fair, about every prediction thus far. Let's see if that continues.
Maybe I'm not Justini, maybe I'm Willibomb.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
Actually,
you're
no.
commentating exactly what you're saying.
The giant's gonna get taken out.
Whittling down that giant. There we go.
I wonder if he wants to siege over in the east as well, like siege both cities there.
As well.
And then something's got to give. I'm disappointed in Willibomb for not bouncing into Kurzaza.
Yeah. Would have been cool.
But,
that's it. I'm rooting
health.
against him. I'm impartial, obviously, officially, but I'm rooting against him.
At 13 health, I think a rider and warrior would siege the giant. You could bounce in. He's going after the giant over there, though. Fair enough. Yeah, you only have 5 stars. You don't want to make another road. Rider on cap, yeah.
12
so not the
rules
triple
to
siege I was seeing.
No.
With,
you were incorrect.
like, he's got the giant siege over in the west.
Yes, he
I
does.
think he could have got the giant siege in the west and siege over the
He
east.
could have, but maybe he's
I like
thinking
this
a
as
couple
well.
extra turns ahead here. I am seeing just the unit count wildly different at this point.
Yeah. I think Polycrystal's like, this is the point where like you lose Yuzumo and you realize I'm not really pushing against those against those archers.
Just a wall of death,
gotta-
really.
The warriors up in front, like doing some nice zone of control.
This is, in my opinion, the most dynamic front line we've seen in a while. With these qualifiers, it has been quite back and forth. They're dancing in. You got 3 different cities that are all under threat, or 4, sorry. Different cities that are all under threat at one point or another. Each player could have made wildly different decisions depending on where they're focusing. You know, it's a great game.
Absolutely. I think like these kinds of maps, they really just give one person like the chance to just really show like their technique and like how solid a player they are. I think both players are like, we're really getting a test for like Melo here. Like we're seeing like the most difficult things that they can come up with. Words are hard sometimes.
Yeah.
Like.
Push for casters. Well, he has gone for Zala. And he's popping
This
in
feels
and out.
like this feels like lashing out.
A little bit. This is
Like
great.
I don't feel like it's turning into a victory here. Like,
No?
we see the way it gets on siege.
Yes, but he's
And
also...
the giant getting healed, yeah. We're seeing a couple more sieges in the next turn.
He is...
I think Willibomb,
Yeah?
he has the chance to do have a killer turn here. He has a chance to finish it.
I think so. Let's see if he's able to do so. Zumo now under his control.
He's got 2 minutes to figure this one out.
I think there is a route to victory here. How does he get there? And frankly, I do think that Polycrystal's shown enough skill to be able to punish any clear and obvious errors that are made. I don't think Mr. Bomb is going to be making any of those.
Yeah, I mean, especially like I mean, the class we saw Mr. Bong display back in the IMO qualifiers. I mean, didn't go his way, of course, but just
There we go.
how he was like the versatility,
Bang.
the aggression.
Very good. 14
there's
kills
the
to
giant
15 kills, but those kills are not alike in nature. That giant over there in the east was getting continually bombarded by Polycrystal. Didn't really have an answer for the archers, and he's doesn't have long to come up with one either. As I think we're going to start to see this power scale and the pendulum swing in favor of Willibomb. Another giant now enters the fray. What can Polycrystal do? This is a turn he's going to have to do a lot in.
I mean, the big thing you're looking at here is just the giant over on Yazumo in the west. Like, you do not want that one to load into your capital. You are able to make your own giant on your capital, get defense set up like that with fishing. So, and that's another on your Zenkomo city as well. Fishing is like nice for so many things here. It seems hard to believe that we're not going to see fishing. Maybe even this turn. But you can't really block that giant from roading into your capital. Like you try to block with, Willibomb has the archers and riders in the back to take him out with. But I imagine we're going to see fishing on the next turn, and then a couple giants pop out. But the question of like how do you push these back? You're going to continue trying to use your riders to push the archers back. While at the same time, like, use your giants to defend against the Willbombs. Yeah, he's able to survive for a few turns longer. But I mean, really, it's the case of like economic disparity. There is a gulf between them. And now he's getting trade set up too. So the 7 stars per turn difference wasn't enough. He wants to
increase it.
Start dropping down the markets.
Why not? When you got the ability, just do it.
Yeah, these markets aren't the best markets. You know, I've seen better markets, but they're not bad at all. And like dropping like 11 star per turn difference, like probably like get to double his income in not too long. Keep sieging Yabomo too. Like I don't know why you upgraded that city. You're never gonna see any stars from it, says Willibomb. Yeah, does he want to send his giant straight into the capital? Because it does mean not training any units if he gets that road. Yeah, how do you want to do this? He wants to advance his archers, but he also doesn't want to leave them vulnerable. So he's not going to spend the stars on the road. He's going to get a couple of warriors and keep his giant up to defend all of his archers and help them push forwards. He realizes he's in a pretty nice position. You just advance all of his... Like, yeah, he doesn't need to make a play with his giant. He can advance all of his archers and everything. The giant's job is to just keep his archers nice and healthy here. Don't take body shots, though. You know, maybe it's because, Polytopia players are lovers and not fighters.
Maybe. We use a different
analogy. I don't think they're doing, like, capoeira or boxing or anything.
Capoeira! Okay. Alright. Don't put those two things in the same sentence. Anyway.
No? Why not?
Look, we're gonna go wildly on topic. Back to the game.
Yeah, what we're seeing in the game is, retreating all these riders and warriors and such. Wow, he just tries to upgrade all of his cities. He's trying to pick up some giants, some of the more difficult to get giants up first. And because Willibomb didn't put any immediate pressure, there's no need for, like, the fishing giants.
That's surprisingly passive from
he's
Willibomb.
getting... Yeah. You get markets. People love markets. It's, I mean, there are people who play Polytopia non-competitively, right? Mm-hmm. And part of the joy of it is just, seeing the cities upgrade and the numbers go up. And I think even for the competitive players, it has some charm. And, like, it's basically, guaranteeing, like, it's his safest bet at winning, is to compound his advantage like this. Oh yeah, he left that capital open. You're getting sieged a couple times. I guess not a couple times, because there's no rider to bounce off into the capital. So smart to leave the capital open then. There we go, Yabomo sieged again. Who could have seen it coming? I imagine like next turn has, with the giant next to the capital, has to be the fishing time. Unless you're waiting for Willibomb to siege and you're trying to Houdini him. You got enough riders around that you could definitely make that giant disappear. I don't imagine Willibomb leaves himself that vulnerable and doesn't give himself like those luft tiles though. Yeah, Willibomb's just playing very suppressively right now. He's going to keep improving his own markets. Like 13 stars against 37 right now, right? That's ridiculous. We're seeing a ruin down there, but you know, the fishing try to like unsiege that city, it's getting harder and harder, and you need a road over in the east to even unsiege the Yabomo city. It's just getting more difficult to even pick up units to defend. You keep getting sieged. Like the riders always able to go ahead and siege there. Nice veteran. That's classy.
Classy, I like that.
Look, I mean, that's what just separates, you know, the good from the great players. The people who are able to figure out which units of theirs are going to become veterans and actually make it happen. There's a very famous game played like 6 years ago. Like an absolutely lost position, except for the fact that they'd been able to figure out like their veterans, like get 3 veteran sieges on the same turn, and the capital siege holds.
I'll be honest, I can't see a route to victory yet. Hot take.
I don't.
But I think that, to be fair, there's always the chance that the device they're playing on explodes. There's a chance of a lightning striking Willibomb directly, but even then, I think it'd be tricky to win.
I think Willibomb himself might explode. That's the bomb nature.
You know,
of his
that's the
name,
chance.
right?
If he gets pressured too much, that's it. It's like a pressure cooker. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he can take it very casually. We have, in my opinion, we haven't seen the best of Willibomb from what we've seen in the previous weeks. This has been a fairly casual affair for him. He played, I would say, damn near perfectly at the start. Since then, he's kind of taken his foot off the gas a little bit. Not that he needed to really to really enforce it. Let's see what Polycrystal's going to do here.
Yeah, hope you get something good from the ruin. There is the
like,
ability...
what could he possibly get from the ruin to turn this around? Please tell me.
Well, so okay, no, so there was the possibility, or I guess there still is. No, he needed to bounce off that warrior before killing off the giant, the veteran rider in the east. But if he used some roads and bounced all his riders around his capital, and then got a population ruin, like he would make that, like Willibomb's giant would have no tile to be pushed to and would disappear. He would be able to swing like that. But he's getting a better sword anyways, so. And he also gave up the Houdini. But he's just going to go for the giant push. I mean, that's the safe thing.
There it is.
Yeah, he's going to push and then resign.
Pushes and then resigns. Says, you can't have my capital, but I do lose. Now, an interesting game, to be honest. One of my preferred ones. It was very back and forth. I think, like I said, it felt to me that Willibomb had a lot of fantastic plays early, and then just kind of stepped off the gas a little bit, was a bit more casual, and then sort of played it through to its natural conclusion. Not really making mistakes per se, but wasn't as aggressive as we've seen him in other games. What would you say to that?
No, I'd agree. Like, it wasn't playing for like maximum precision in the end. And I mean, that's just a difference between like, you know, correspondence formats and these kinds of live games anyways. Like, you're on a timer, like you got to respect your opponent. Like, you're going to go for the safe win when you have it.
Yeah, and we saw that again. He made sure he had all the income. He made sure he was making all the right decisions that didn't immediately put him in danger, and he wasn't pushing the pace. A strong showing. You have to think Polycrystal, who went 2-0 in the first quarter final, very reluctant to resign there. We can only speculate as to the mentality behind the Enigma, but he's going to have to perform a little bit of a reverse sweep if he's to deny Willibomb a place in the final. Interestingly, if Willibomb does make it to the final, again, big if there, he still has to get through Polycrystal once more. So he has at least one more game in front of him. one of him and Justine Linguini, who we have seen week in, week out, are going to make it. The interesting thing for me is that the longer these qualifiers go on and the more of these kind of top players get into these tribal qualifiers to represent their tribe, that does free up the slots for qualification for these other players. What do you think is going to happen in this next game? Do you think Willibomb's maybe going to take it up a gear, or do you think he's going to kind of keep this calm, cool, casual, dare I say, quite sleepy gameplay? But we've said he's a little bit tired. Yeah, maybe that's his mentality. Maybe he's like, I have to win the next game because I'm going to sleep. I have to go to bed.
Maybe you'd expect him to be rushing to bed then, but I'm not really sure. Like, just like we talked about at the beginning of this game, like you got the map, you got the players reacting to the map, and there's nothing more than that. Maybe I could be a little more poetic about it than that, but I won't. I refuse, actually.
Okay,
I think Willibomb, if we expect anything from him, we're going to see like some aggressive stuff in the opening, trying to like make sure that he like has that advantage, and then just like keeping that margin like above his opponent, and like not making any mistakes.
Yeah, that is kind of what we've seen from him previously. However, previously he hasn't had that moment to relax, that moment to apply consistent pressure, not overwhelming sort of superiority. Previously there have been kind of scraps, dogfights, and he has been forced to kind of push it into a higher gear and constantly throw himself at his opponent. So maybe this kind of play suits him. I have to say that I think Justini will punish that if he does end up taking that to the final. I don't see, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't see Justini allowing that kind of gameplay to persist. We've seen what he's done when he's on the back foot. Old Justini. What do you think? Justini versus Willibomb. Who do you think wins that one?
I mean, that's what I did in the third game against Le Lib, right? Like, he kind of took his foot off the gas, and then, like, Justini was able to, like, show that he was, like, superior in the economic department. That he could push better, like, towards the end. It's like, just when he got that giant push, like, it was kind of nice. I could imagine, like, the players shaking hands at that moment.
Yeah.
Like, and I think if we see Willibomb trying to go for the same things that we saw in this first game here against Justini, like, we might see basically a repeat of that game 3 that Justini had.
Yeah, potentially. Potentially. Either way, one of these three, just to remind you all, is going to be representing their tribe. And then once we've completed all of the tribal qualifiers, which, by the way, half of them still open. So if you're at home thinking, that was so easy, I could have got my way out of that. Maybe I could have qualified, but my tribe hasn't appeared yet. Well, these qualifiers go on week, so why not try it out for yourself? Maybe you'll be someone that will be critiquing in sort of the next edition. Maybe you'll go all the way to the finals in Stockholm. Who is to say? What I will say is that one of these three does have a very good shot of making it all the way. Pressure. How does Willibomb deal with pressure in your mind?
He deals with it pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, he's a very relaxed kind of player. And I mean, especially in a game like this, like he's playing Zebasi, like he's putting practice, like he's been going like hours.
Yeah.
Like, he knows what he's doing. So there's not like, it's kind of a question of, I mean, they say like, the best players like are able to get themselves out of tough situations, but they also don't get into tough situations.
Oh, we'll have to see. As let's not forget, this is a best out of 3. Willibomb has to win at least one more game. Polycrystal needs to win 2 in a row. Let's see if they can do just that as we begin our game 2.
Yeah, both players heading towards the center, taking a workshop on turn 0. We're going to see them take another warrior on turn 1 after this. Willibomb's thinking about it. Don't
like that. That's the pressure.
Yeah, he's deciding about North versus Southeast, and he does find a village here. So, yeah, it's a very symmetrical game again. With how they've been working, like both getting pushed away from each other this time. It's like some kind of magnetic repulsion or something, as opposed to the attraction on game 1. But yeah, seeing again like a start where they are in these adjacent spawns with each other, like west and north. It looks like there's room for them to meet each other, but also maybe more room for more villages to spawn between each other. We might see a lot of similar ideas from that first game, like recurring here. Yeah, Willbomb's not too happy to see that And yeah, just what we were talking about with you know, what villages you want to go for. Like Willibomb doesn't go for the immediate village down south under him. He tries to push further towards the center and then leave that village for a third warrior later down the line. Versus there was no real choice for Polycrystal, so Polycrystal faster to pick up the initial villages. I don't think there's going to be too great like fighting, like chances for them to fight and take a village from each other. Seems like a very defensive spot. Like just look at the dearth of villages up in the north. Like we know where Polycrystal's villages are there, so there's we're not going to see any more villages. Up in that northwest edge, it's just going to be Polycrystals there. And like launching an attack from that city all the way to Willibomb's capital, I don't see it. But nice fishing explorer that picks up some meeting stars against Willibomb. Question of what are we going to do with those stars now? We got 10, maybe just a level 3 upgrade. Maybe we just go ahead, get the riding maybe? Try to push her around the center of the map. A little surprised that the warrior didn't go south there. But yeah, with the idea of getting a level 3 upgrade, I'm imagining the next warrior there goes south, and we're not going to get riders. Yeah, Willibomb walking around the village instead of straight on it, hoping maybe to... Because Polycrystal is just at 1900 points right now. Yeah, no, this is a good team for Polycrystal, like walking the warriors there. Saw that warrior move into the east and now able to pick up this easy kill against Willibomb.
There we go.
Cutting him off from the center, and like all the... This is really nice for Polycrystal.
I ask you every
love
time,
this
but
story.
which side would you rather be championing right now?
Polycrystal, like 100,000%. Polycrystal's cut off Willibomb's expansion to the middle, better resources on the villages, upgraded them to higher levels already, able to run down to the south and pick up like everything. Willibomb kind of cut off by like water and everything. I can't see any argument that we like Willibomb's more. I like the fact that he got more meeting stars than we saw from...
And that's the most
Polycrystal.
important thing in Polytopia.
Yeah, yeah.
Boom, instant victory. There we go. Immediately.
Okay, yeah.
Immediately. Such a bad start. It does happen to the best of us, but with it being now 1-1, we're going to go to game 3. Polycrystal taking an easy dub thanks to a little bit of spawn luck. Well, I say a little spawn luck. Yeah, look, it does happen. Now, the beauty of it being a best of 3 is that because it happens equally to everyone, it's a nice balancer. But damn, kind of devastating for Willibomb. You try so hard to win the first one, and then the second one doesn't go your way because of the spawn. Do you think he could have fought it out, stayed a little bit longer?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Willibomb's a little dramatic.
Yeah.
He has a tendency to be dramatic about resigning too early in these kinds of things.
That's the quickest game we've had, I think. That's how long was that? I think it was clocked in at 4 minutes.
Yeah, I think we had the IMO game that was 7 minutes.
Yeah, this is the record, 4 minutes.
But yeah, no, this is...
To be fair to him, if it is 1-1, right? If you're 1-0 up, and you've gotten that spawn, and you're thinking to yourself like, I don't want to play this game. The worst thing you could possibly do is play the game. You know? Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to be diving in very, very soon because both these players will soon be ready. Now, you said it was dramatic. I can't imagine he's going to be dramatic when it's the series on the line. You know? What do you think?
No, not the last game.
Yeah.
No. Like, he could get a worse spawn, and I hope he would play it out longer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, if he were on, like, you know, the actual, like, right here, right now, like, able to speak about, like, his experiences with that, he would have, you know, some very choice, colorful language.
I'm glad he's not here then.
Explain. Yeah. I'm not advocating for inviting him on the stream or anything, but I've heard him the way he talks about spawns like this before.
Okay.
And I imagine he's doing it right now for no audience.
Yeah, well, like, hey, you ready to get back in the game? He's like, yeah, 1 second. Mutes his mic. one second, I've got something I need to do. Well, again, it does mean that we now have a precious game 3 to get to. It means that neither of the semifinals was a sweep, and it adds a little bit of chaos into the mix, which we always like to see with Polytopia, particularly with sometimes with players that are a little bit methodical, which I'm not saying Polycrystal is or isn't, given that we've seen literally one game. I'm not counting the second game as a game that we've seen from him. But I think Willibomb has given him a lot of respect there, because he has kind of gone, wow, this spawn is really good for you, and I think that you are good enough to beat me on it. Like, it's a good player beats players when they have good spawns. An amazing player beats players when they have a bad spawn. So we'll see what the spawn situation is like in this next one. Let's not forget the winner of this faces off against Justini Linguini in the final. It is a best of 3. Who will go 2-1? Will it be Polycrystal? Will it be Willibomb? Let's find out right now. Talk me through the spawn. Is it as lopsided? Obviously, we won't know just yet, but give it out to see if it's as lopsided as the first.
I mean, one of the things you can do with these evaluating Zebasi spawns is just count the number of farms. How many farms do they have? Are they able to upgrade all their cities to farms? And look who has more farms, Polycrystal. And there's a village down in the southwest that has at least 3 farms around it that he's going to pick up with another warrior. I think he's going to head northeast first, pick up a 3rd warrior to head southwest for that village. He's going to go west. He sees the farms. He's pulled by the farms. The magnetism of the farms.
Be a magnet, don't you?
Today, not usually. But yeah, what does Willibomb want to do? Does he want to send this warrior straight towards the center? He's already got the warrior on that 2nd city. Yeah, he's gonna head south. Around the outside. Got 8 stars. He could go for a rider here, or he could go ahead and pick up a workshop. Or construction. Yeah, I mean, these are the, like we were talking about. These are the ways you play Zebasi. Yeah, both players going for construction. I mean, when you have, like, farms like this, like, you don't do anything else. Yeah, I'm very glad to see all these villages popping up. But the overlapping farms, not so much there for him. I think it will be better for him, though, in getting markets set up. Could be very much like Justini's game, literally against Lele. Yeah, quicker on his expansion, actually picking up these villages. A little, you know, unfortunate situation, just completely blocked off by water. Although maybe it was even a little predictable that that would happen up in the north. With the general lack of resources. Might have, I mean, you know, hindsight 2020, but send it a little more north. Yeah. Heading towards the center of the map, off of Yazan. And going, yeah, it's interesting to see it push central. I mean, we're seeing there is going to be a village there just because of the fish and animal like outside of range, but Willibomb is going to be the one actually picking up that village. I think he's got construction. He won't be able to actually train a rider, but he might need to buy riding this turn in order to stay alive here. But going for an explorer instead. Very solid. Yeah, it's gonna get that lighthouse in the capital upgrade too. And if he meets his opponent here, and he does, there we go. Now you can get some riders. It feels safe to step on that village in the middle. That's kind of incredible, honestly. But I mean, that was the right play. If there were a couple more land tiles and maybe like another unit around there. But there's not, so Willibomb in a very solid position. Actually, I'm thinking about Blaif, what you said earlier about you know, showing a lot of respect in that last one. I think it might even be a little disrespectful.
Yeah?
To resign that quickly. Because I think it's Willibomb's way of saying, like, I saw how much I outclassed you in game 1, and like I'm just not gonna play this one because I just know that I'm gonna win game 3.
Sure, but at the same time, like he's gonna gain 3 either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's gonna gain 3 either way, so he's assuming that he's gonna lose game 2. It's not like he went, firstly, ball and move to like, if anyone did this, to like win game 1 and then instantly resign like game 2. But I don't need a third game. Let's just, let's run it.
Wow, I'm wondering if his decision behind that was actually like just his way of saying like, I could win this game too.
Nah, no way.
I think it'll take longer.
No
I think it'll
way.
take longer.
No way.
Then just go into game 3.
If that's the case, then he's my hero. But I really think, like, realistically, the spawn was so bad for him that he's just gone like, all right, I'm out. Again, we've seen players in these qualifiers fight their way out of bad spawns to win. We've seen some really fantastic gameplay. You guys like Meisterlamper, like fantastic, pixel perfect gameplay, right? So for him to go, nah, I'm not messing with it. I really thought there was a resignation, but you see where I said turn complete there? For some reason, I thought Willibomb resigned. I don't know. I think it's an instant. Like, I think that there's no point playing this because I think you'll win. I think that there is a balance between fighting to the end and resigning within 4 minutes. Where that line is drawn, I couldn't tell you. It's down to the individual.
But yeah, I mean, we're seeing some pretty similar stuff from both sides in the game, and less the meta game. But both players in construction picking up giants on turn 7, or sorry, Polycrystal's giant was on turn 6. I can't. I'm sorry. I'm so brain rotted. You gotta take over late.
He's gone. He's absolutely gone. I got you. Now, information is the best currency when it comes to warfare, and I think that pertains to Polytopia. Generally, I like to think that the player that has had more information does better simply because they can plan better around their opponent. Now, it might seem obvious to say, but a surprising amount of players tend to not care as much about what their opponent is doing. They tend to focus on optimizing what they are doing. I'm not saying that's what Polycrystal is doing in this case here. What I am saying is that he does have that limited vision. He doesn't know exactly what Willibomb is doing. Willibomb, having an increased amount of vision, can plan accordingly, especially when it comes to the different places on the map in terms of villages, in terms of ruins, and how they can best approach each of those in turn, instead of only ever, how would I put this, only ever reacting to what's in front of them. Polycrystal, game 1, in front of Willibomb, didn't know those 2 villages were there, probably couldn't maneuver as effectively as he perhaps could have or should have. So, I mean, would you say that's a fair assessment?
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I mean, we're kind of seeing similar stuff with just the terms of vision now. I think Willibomb was a little greedy with that explorer he picked on the middle city. If he just waited a turn, ran his warrior up north, probably would have been fine. Like, the explorer would have like actually reached the South Lighthouse, but now it's like tragically 1 tile short. No, like, the other thing I'm seeing from Willibomb is, like, he's only bought, construction. He only has 1 tech, compared to Polycrystal already into trade. But Willibomb's been the one, like, setting up his actual market spots. So, it feels like, it really does feel like just game 3. All over again.
Game 3? Which game?
Like, Justinian Lilib.
Right.
The way that we're seeing, like, the early initiative and picking up techs versus, like, actually setting up the market spots, like, having them already.
We saw how that game played out as well.
Yeah, so it might be, like, in Willibomb's favor again. I mean, the big difference here, of course, is that the big, like, central lake that's, like, mitigating any attacks on each other, like, that's not here. Like, they've got, like, Willibomb has a big defense that he needs to play on the central city. We might even see a wall over there.
And again, that's something that he knows about because he has seen more of the map in comparison to Polycrystal. Like you say, taking a lot of the techs. Oh, here we go. We'll mark it there. I think surely I'm not seeing too much water access is the main tricky part right now. Obviously, he's going to get that city down to the south, and he's going to be a lot better. But I think it's going to be the one and loss on the water, like you say. It's going to be tricky to defend that central. Not tricky to defend. Sorry, there's going to be tricky to coordinate your land forces when there's no land. it's kind of the easiest way I could put that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also getting flashbacks to the last IMO game a little bit, where there's just these two different lakes that we have, one up in the north, one down in the south, and I'm wondering how they're going to use that to their advantage, or just ignore it even. We're going to see border growth here.
There we go.
Yeah, and then he's got very nice market spots, and of course he set them up right now, so huge income disparity already getting set up. I feel like the big difference here is that unlike Lilib's markets, Lilib's markets were just much worse. I think Willibomb's markets are still better relative to Polycrystals, but it was only so it was still close in Justini's game, with they push over into the east as well, and some of the ideas that might have been missed or anything, but it's definitely not as crushing, the disparity in the markets that Willibomb's eventually going to set up. And yeah, he only has roads now. He picks up roads, hoping to get trade from the ruin, but gets population instead. You can't be sad about getting population though. Still a very good ruin. So yeah, getting his own market set up, and he's got I mean, for right now he's got 2 more markets he can set up. He can level them up, but look at how the income disparity has already been dropped.
Yeah.
And Willibomb should take a little advantage, and not too long from now. He's doing some planning, but kind of a question of what are we planning?
It does feel weird, isn't it, when he stops, because you're used to him playing kind of consistently and quickly, and then he's just suddenly thinking about something. You're like, is he okay? There we go.
Yeah, we are. Okay, that's a very nice explorer. Summoned by the fog and the 2 tiles in the water, but no access to fishing, so doesn't pick up all too much vision. And the swordsman clear on the edge of the map. These are, I mean, he'll be useful eventually, but not your favorite things to see. I like for Willibomb, he can get a bridge west of that central city if he ever needs to. Let's say, imagine some night chain, not now, but 10 turns, 20 turns from now. He's got options, and he holds the cards. But for right now, he just needs to work on equalizing his economy, and then he needs to equalize before he can start working on pulling ahead. So it should be a pretty slow, lethargic game for Willibomb. He doesn't have any attack that he can really go after right now, and he doesn't really need any because he will have a stronger market set up by the end of the game. He also just has more cities. More cities is more markets. That Zazim city does have, I mean, it has the potential to see a market there, but a very good one, not really. So pretty expensive level 3 upgrade, but an extra 3 stars per turn off the market. Just work on maximizing your income for right now. I think we're going to want to see a monument on this central city. Mm-hmm. Get some border growth there, and some more markets.
Think there's any merit to Willibomb getting on the water first in the southern lake? Or do you think his focus should be elsewhere?
I think his focus is appropriate on just getting all of his markets down. He's got a market on that north city he can place, and then one on the central city. But before he gets on the central city, he needs to get border growth there, that's a monument. You need a monument for that. Their income is very close, but it's Willibomb's taking one step, right, and catching up every turn. We've got basically all the markets are set up right now for Polycrystal. And unfortunately for Willibomb, after this explorer, there's no real way that he's not getting that southern village. Just run southeast or run into the water. Get a rider on that city. Willibomb should know and avoid stepping on it, but he can't bring units around there either. So it looks like Polycrystal's been very studious about, recognizing the similarities in the position that we saw earlier, and trying to avoid the Lilib's mistake. Get those ports as centrally placed as possible. Get your giants into them now. Start attacking, because later this game goes, the more that income is going to accumulate, going to compound over you. I think we're going to see Polycrystal, after picking up that southern city, cap out at about 50 stars per turn or so, and Willibomb probably can take it to 60 or something. So the income disparity won't be that massive, where it's like very obvious, but it will still favor Willibomb. So he needs to defend himself right now, and it is difficult with just the sheer number of giants and the lack of naval presence.
Still,
yeah, there we go.
0 kills on both sides. You're very, very right to call it a similar one to the... Oh, there we go. Similar game to Game 3 previously.
Now he's got fishing. I think he might take an explorer on the North City. No border growth. Yeah, I think I like this a lot, that he's got this population. I want him to use it and pick up border growth on his central city. Does he have the southern lighthouse? Or he can grab the southern lighthouse with his warrior if he doesn't already have vision. I think he does, though. He should have just gotten his Eye of God monument. He might use that right now for border growth in the central city. Like, he's saved 2 stars for himself. If he was like, or not. He does have all the lighthouses, though, I'm fairly certain. Not that I can see the southern lighthouse. I swear I remember him having it. So I wonder what he's saving that for. I guess he wants to use just stars and not the monument on the central city. Maybe he doesn't even want border growth there, but it feels like a waste of an opportunity with the market there that he wants to place. We're gonna see some interesting, expensive roads, but I mean, this is why you play markets. You can do things like this.
God.
No, Willibomb does not have the South Lighthouse. Okay, he does have roads though, so
43 stars a piece as well. This is 1-to-1. The close-in kills, cities, and units. Man, still at this point of the game, I think I know the answer. But which player would you rather be?
This is actually really tough because they're very similar in where they are. Oh man, I like the fact that Polycrystal has like this initiative down in the south, and doesn't have the Eye of God yet either. But I think Willibomb has the better chances in the late game, and I feel like it's going to end up there. And then maybe this is less about the objective read of the position, but what I've seen and how both players have been like tackling their positions so far, I feel like I like the chances that Willibomb has. So yeah, very, very classy there. Pick up that last lighthouse, as well as the damage on that. Don't let yourself get bombered or rammered from a full health unit when you don't have to. He needs a road anyways to get the lighthouse, but taking advantage of that. And there we go, on the central city for border growth. He just didn't have it last turn. How do we want to do this? You've got a very nice spot for that. You got 33 stars. You can upgrade this. Yeah, there we go. Between the 2 windmills. Naturally. Yeah, just get another giant on the central city.
A wall of juggernauts there. There we go. There's a 4th in the water. Did say that southern lake was going to be pivotal.
Yeah, I mean at this point, like, I'm going for Willibomb.
Yeah.
All in on Willibomb.
All in on Willibomb. I mean, that's 6. Was that 4 juggernauts, 2 giants? 12 units. Now there are more units on Polycrystal's side, but it's the quality of the unit that counts as well. Let's see what this ruin has in store for him as well.
Yeah.
What's the best
Willibomb's
possible thing you
giving
can get
up-
from this ruin?
That's kind of difficult at this stage of the game. Probably one of the expensive techs, like in water. Like, he was able to get. I mean, navigation on lakes isn't all that crazy.
Go for it, by the way. The ruin this time. Focus
Yeah,
on
he doesn't
killing.
have all that much that he really wants. Like, he's got stars to spend on anything that he would get from the ruin. And he'll get the ruin later anyways. Yeah, I think he will want like sailing or ramming probably. Maybe a veteran swordsman just to keep his army as nice and healthy as possible. Willibom's Juggernaut took huge punishment there, but he's dominated the water now. Like, we're looking at the 4 Juggernauts in the water versus the single raft. Like, this is, like, you take some damage on your Juggernaut, it's at 12 health now, you just run it back and heal. And your income's just going to be better. Yeah, we're seeing shields into probably diplomacy soon. So maybe we're gonna, maybe Polycrystal's hoping for diplomacy from the ruin. Where are the... I'm wondering about the population growth instead of border growth. Where are the last couple population for the giant? Unless we're going into spiritualism for that north tile.
Still such a low... Oh, there you go, sailing. Such a low amount of kills. There you go, finally. An attack begins. Said Willibomb. Let's see.
Yeah, just retreating that giant.
One of the few times we've seen a giant retreat to safety and heal, you know? I genuinely don't think it's happened in this, in the qualifiers yet. Someone healing a giant. Usually by the time the giants are committed, everything's sort of been war gained out of it. Another.
Yeah.
There it is.
There's the last population faint. Okay.
Okay, I was, both
that
of us
one
are
was
sitting
like...
there. Yeah, but it's not like I was like, nah, where's it gonna come from? Nice, there we go.
Surely he doesn't want the 2 extra stars returned from the market. Not that we're, you know, upset about having that.
All right, Polycrystal
Yeah,
now has
Willibom's
to do
income's
something.
taken over. He's taken the water as well.
Slowly
like,
but surely pulling ahead.
Yeah, Polycrystal's got this, you know, village in the south, which should help out. And like the riders defending against the Juggernauts getting maybe a little too close. But I mean, Willibom's kind of uncontested in the water.
Yeah, and this is the problem that the risk that you run, Veteran Swordsman. And ramming. This is the problem you run sometimes. That when you don't get into the water fast enough, your opponent can stop you because you're limited by how many ports you have. Therefore, the amount of troops you can get into the water at any given time is limited by that number. So if your opponent already has ships in the water, it makes life a lot trickier. Nice little bit of splash damage there, though. Good amount of trade. He's doing a good job defending. The numbers are the maths is mathing when it comes to the defense of the water, of the coast.
Yeah, like, I mean, just look at the number of kills. Like, 1 kill on the Juggernaut compared to Polycrystal's 3. And then, like, these rammers are doing nasty stuff. Willibomb's idea is to sacrifice, you know, take more damage than you'd like to, but the goal at the end of the day is to just be ahead, like, have claimed the water, claimed that south lake. But there are 2 lakes here, and the one in the north, Polycrystal's doing a good job keeping. And Willibomb is still, you know, sacrificing health on all those units. Will the attack be able to continue through? You got the stars, but you need to, like, actually turn it into something more and defend himself up in the north. He's a little split right now. So if Polycrystal is able to keep defending here, and then start fighting up in the north, like, very easy way back in this game. But yeah, right now deciding something. Deciding where to move those units, where to spend those last 7 stars. Yeah, Rider goes back. We see the Warrior take some damage on the Juggernaut. Yeah, it takes a quick pot shot, but I'm pretty sure we're going to see these Juggernauts get landed on the next turn.
You're right. You've been right so far. Here we go.
So will Willibomb land his Juggernauts? Navigation.
Too. Okay. Here we go. Couple of
There you
bombers.
go.
Bang.
This is where you might start resigning.
Yeah. Yeah. Boom. That's so much damage. Oh my god, this might hit the record for the amount of numbers of damage in a single turn. There we go. They're all gone. They're all gone. Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's probably, again, for the series, might be a little bit of a record there. We'll see. I mean, it's gonna be really hard for Polycrystal to come back from this. Really, really hard. He does have the numbers in terms of units. He can definitely stave off the oncoming horde. But again, look at the star difference. What can he do now? Where does he go from here?
Well,
If ever there was a time.
So there's a siege up in the North City. Willibomb's going to have to unsiege that with a giant push. So it's not the most devastating thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And the defender's too far away to visit the city. Not that it really matters since he's solving a giant push. But yeah, I mean the attack in the North Lake, Willibomb has the stars to just spam out some giants to keep himself nice and defended there. And I mean, just against a bunch of warriors and not all too many ports. Like Willibomb is blocking his own ports.
Yeah.
With these bombers, he wasn't able to make any more units, like replenish his force, so he just dropped a bunch of juggernauts on the land. So he's giving up his control of the South Lake a little bit to push his attack further.
I think it's a good plan.
And the question is, like these defenders, the veteran swordsmen in the South, how do you deal with that on top of the rammer and the scout that you see there? And just sacrificing the riders into the giant. This is kind of the play that, like, you hate to see it, but
Has to happen.
making those riders useful. And as soon as you're at this point, it's really nice. You can just go heal them off. Takes a couple of turns, lose a couple tempi, but save yourself. Oh, okay, yeah. He realizes that, yeah, I'm not sieging that city, I'm not keeping it, so.
Instead,
try to claim this, go after the Juggernaut.
Yeah,
instead.
nice. He has to kind of open up a different front here, you know? Push in the South Lake. With, like, you know, fighting retreat in the center and try and see if he can outflank him. I would say that's kind of his only real hope. And just hope in the chaos. Will makes a mistake. It's by no means over, of course. But it's going to be tricky. Again, when you hit this sort of stage of the game, every turn a player takes makes it look like that player is winning.
Yeah, I mean,
All right, here we go.
the things we're looking at, you know, just like the city count is even. Polycrystal was the one with like way more units.
Yeah, a lot
And
more.
it's kind of a question of like what happened to Willibomb's units. I swear they existed.
Yeah, he just really didn't pump them out. He instead was focusing on
Yeah.
giants and juggernauts and everything in between, whereas Polycrystal's focus was a little bit more on the individual units. Again, you can see the riders scattered around the place. Oh, there we go, ramming. It's trying to do the scout, I imagine. But yeah, so you can kind of see where they've all gone.
Yeah,
There you go,
I guess
more
we're looking
ports.
at this. We're gonna see another Juggernaut here, I guess. Got 25 stars. Yeah, you saw like mass liquidation in the center, and the idea behind that, I think, like I said earlier, was to like claim control over that lake because he's like pushing from there. But Polycrystal's also been pushing into that lake from the south, and now we have like this veteran swordsman, these defenders, like just better naval units than what Willibomb has access to.
No, I
And,
100% agree.
Like, I don't think he shut him out of the lake as effectively as he probably could have.
Yes, I agree with that completely. Now, it's worth mentioning we are halfway through this game. If this game does end up going the full hour, it will go to a judge's score. But as another giant appears in the center, you have to wonder what it will take to get there. Can Polycrystal do something? Again, look at the kills, 6 to 11. Again, it's by no mean a rout, but the pendulum of momentum does not look favorably right now. That unit count we were saying has the more units, but look, that is 100% been brought back into line. You can see the difference in time as well. Both the players are playing fast, but Willibomb just that much faster.
Now, I wonder about I mean, really what I'm most curious to see this turn is how Polycrystal approaches the southern lake. You have so many things that you want to attack.
Yeah.
Like, you want to deal damage to that bomber. That's a high-value target. But you're
Mix it up.
leaving your own units a little vulnerable, and you'd love that veteran swordsman to be a rammer. But,
Yes.
go after the bomber instead. No, Stuck is doesn't have like the same bulk. Like you're not given the same presence down that lake. You're gonna see that amended with this Juggernaut. The income disparity closing a little bit too. If we see that level 2 market pop up, maybe. Maybe not. A level 2 market. But
Disgust in your voice there.
it's just every market's you go for the market except level 1, level 2. Like level 2's like level 1, like skip it. Level 2, that's where it's debatable, right? You have to like think about it. It's a decision. Markets shouldn't be a decision. But I think we'll eventually see it down there anyways because you'll have like we know that the game's gonna go for like 3+ more turns.
Well, look at the. I mean, that's a cavalry army if I've ever seen one.
Yeah.
Riders, but nowhere to run to, That's such an open patch of land now, east of Yazan.
Yeah, so I think Willibomb's going to just keep pumping stars into the water.
Yep.
Initially, but he also has the path of breaking through with knights. You can just look at the crazy chain he can pull on these riders.
This is what I think might be the breaking of, not necessarily a deadlock. Oh, that's fantastic. But just look at the kills, man. Look at it's 9 to 18. Gets aquatism. I can't see a way of Polycrystal shifting me out of the water from now. I think there might have been a brief window of opportunity, but I don't see how. Unless Willibomb voluntarily vacates the water, I don't think his navy is going to be taken out here. What do you think?
I mean, it feels like he just simplified the position. Like, all that liquidation that happened down the south. Now, instead of remember the position before that, where Polycrystal was the one who had fishing, Willibomb didn't. Like Juggernaut's in the water. Now they're in a more, let's say, even position than like Willibomb being completely dominant. But Willibomb's just the one with more stars, so he's able to just reestablish the exact same kind of advantage. He just made it like really easy to like notice that, hey, actually Willbomb's in control of the game and by a lot. Got his finger on the pulse. Yeah, he's got 18 stars, 60 stars per turn. You could go ahead and pick up a knight on the next turn if you wanted to.
I think you hopefully will.
Now we're big fans of the knights here. Another giant up north. Eventually. I get to burn that North Forest. Right now, just picking up the extra 1 star. Doesn't need to trade any more units. He's gonna lose his Juggernaut almost. The Aquatism pickup huge right now, otherwise it would have been gone. You might ask, what can a 4 health Juggernaut do? I feel like 5 splash damage. It's okay. He's doing his best. He's doing his best.
More blood to go into the grinder. Yeah. Put a bridge down just to watch your boys get eviscerated by a large man with a club. What does he do? Where does he go? Into the water.
That's interesting to me.
Yeah.
Into the water with the Juggernaut.
But to
I'm
be
scared
fair,
for him. I'm looking at the rammers.
Yeah, I agree, but at the same time, playing conventionally is not going to get him out of the position, Weird things might. It goes back to what I was saying in game 2 of the last semi-final, which is sometimes doing something unexpected but worse can be better. Most of the time, not going to lie to you, it's not. But sometimes it can help.
And that's a very nice Aquatism pickup. The big difference we're seeing in their navies is that Willibomb doesn't have defenders.
No.
I know I was, going on and on about knights, but honestly, Willibomb needs to pick up defenders first. It's kind of insane that he picked up Aquatism before he got defenders.
Yeah, it only makes sense if you're a coward, though. So.
Willibomb is anything but a coward.
Exactly.
Might see a couple bombers up north and then pick up shields and defenders. Strategy. Yeah, a couple bombers up north.
Yeah,
2 bombers? Yes, there we go.
Nice cascading waves of damage. Bang. That is what the Juggernaut can do. A good amount of splash damage before he's probably picked off next turn. And another giant is in. What's the giant count and giant and Juggernaut count? each. Let's see. Willibomb has. He's got one at the top there, one on Zebkozim, two.
7 to 3. But one of them's at 4 health, one up north, so maybe
Yeah.
6 against 3. Just double.
Having said
Only
that,
has twice as many.
I don't think that you think that Juggernaut's going to survive much longer. That's in the water here. The 16-1 and the 20 and the other one on the other side. Let's find out.
Keep him off the starfish. You do not want to make it easy for him to pick up navigation.
Yeah.
Don't encourage him. He's got some pretty terrifying bomber spots set up in the south too. But yeah, this 9 health guy doesn't do enough damage. I thought he would get a rammer instead of the scout there. But
Yeah,
he's giving up.
True, but
starfish.
that more warriors as well. Yeah, what do you think of the not
might
taking
see-
defenders, huh?
I mean, it makes sense for this turn, but it's kind of a question of how many more turns can you get away with this, especially if he's going to, pick up the slack, get navigation himself, and then he's got these. You're like having difficulty like dealing with these like rafts, anyways. Now he's turning them into bombers in the south. So let's see if he picks up navigation and gets that 15 health bomber. How do you want to do this? I think he moves it north, like the rammer just promoted, sends his juggernaut northeast for some splash. That takes that out. Then you can make a scout here. I kind of like the idea of bomber, but yeah, I'll go after it. You're worried about? Oh man, you're giving Willibomb insane bomber value with that 10 health wrath.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got all your like 15 health. Like the difference between like defenders like with 15 health and the opposite defense bonus, like being rammers, versus warriors is just immense.
Finally, that giant.
Like, you're noticing.
Stumble, by the way. Not the Willibomb decided to retreat. He kind of just stood there the entire time. And nice little bit of splash damage. We said 3 turns. Turn 20 looming next turn. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Willibomb would be able to push a little more effectively than this.
Yeah, like what we're really seeing is just like the difference in quality of units down in the south.
Yeah.
Like he's getting pushed back, and like these warriors are just not doing enough to deal with him. Willibomb is like doing better in the north though, but he's like blocking his own port spot. And the units he's putting in the ports are warriors again. It's like, why don't we just go ahead and buy some defenders?
Yeah,
we have the stars for it.
It's not like he's hurting for money, is he? Why do you think
If he
he's not
was,
doing
you
it?
would still get defenders anyways.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Well, why do you think he's not picking up defenders?
Like every turn that he's had the chance to get defenders, it's been like a squirrel situation. Like something's come up to distract him. He's like, I want these bombers now. I want to get aquatism now. Like I'll just get defenders next turn. I'll just get defenders one more turn, and he just ends up never getting them. I bring the riders in. Yeah, you gotta take out that rammer. And then just a little bit of splash damage, or how do you want to? Oh, very nice. That's nice.
Excellent.
Very, very classy. I don't call Polytopia classy all that much.
You're saying it like it's a word
I'm doing it a lot today.
you've learned recently.
I didn't know what class was before, like
Before seeing Willibomb play and take to the take to
yeah.
the sea, and yet here
Well,
we are.
actually, I thought that I just made up the word, but it turns out other people had been using it.
30 kills for Willibomb. I
He
mean,
had a 16.
hefty.
That's ridiculous.
That's what I'm trying to say. It feels to me a little bit more surprising that that's not more pronounced. I mean, he's had 15 more kills. Almost double, essentially, for all intents and purposes, double the amount of kills as Polycrystal, and yet the front line has not really moved. That front in the middle kind of stalled. Conflict of the northern one, conflict of the southern one. I think it's just because, like you say, the warriors can't quite get it done.
Yeah, but look what he's got. He's trying to train some defenders.
He's doing it.
Woo!
He's getting there. Turn 20 comes, and it's going to look like it's going to go without a winner being declared, contrary to your predictions.
Yeah. I think we're going to like see these defenders get in. Like Willibomb's got, you know, defenders with the offensive defense bonus now, turn them into rammers, and just he should be pushing now on both lakes, and then he can bank some extra stars if he wants to pick up like a knight. Yeah, you can pick it up on his capital, get like some surprise attack with like a bridge play too. But I keep talking about that, but we're probably going to see resignation before the night.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be decided on water. I just really want to see the big night chain.
Me too. I'm holding on for it as well.
Yeah, Willibomb's cleared out everything, and look at that full health giant that you can send straight to the capital, like with a bridge. Not that it really does anything, since, you know, he's got defenders. Willibomb doesn't really have the units to, you know, support his giant, like, if it pushes towards the capital, but just, like, locking the city down, you know? Giving his opponent no options. That's kind of what he did in the first game, with just, like, sieging everything all the time. Yeah, how do you want to deal with these, pesky defenders? Like, you're doing great on the North Lake. You could be doing a little bit better over in the South. But it's it's a question technique, question of what do you want to do here. He's doing great. I feel like an encouraging parent. You're doing great, sweet. He does have a problem with all these rammers down the south. Like, you had to pull that Juggernaut back further. You are losing that guy. What do you want to do, Willibomb? I think he's still fine, really, in the south. Like, he's getting pushed back, though. The question is, will he get pushed back so far that, like, he ends up in a position where one of his cities is, you know, getting threatened with siege? Like, that city, Zainmolta, up in the north. That's a city that Willibomb could siege in the next few turns. Zazim and Mozim, like, no. That's not happening. I guess Zazim's more likely to get sieged, just with the fact that where's the population to giant push there? Maybe with some kind of monument and then spiritualism play. So yeah, I mean, Willibomb has ridiculous stuff like that. He can defend. Kind of ridiculous to see the rammer. And yeah, taking full advantage of, like, Willibomb kind of stepping off the gas down in the south, not making all that many new units.
It's the same thing we
Like,
saw in
defenders
that
in the
game
south,
one, man. He just sometimes he needs to go, and it looks like he might get punished for it here.
Yeah, this is much worse than in game one. Like, look at him. Like, his units are getting torn apart.
Yeah,
In that South Lake.
slowly but surely, South Lake is turning blue.
Kind of ridiculous how this happened. Like, just trade more units and put them in the water and stop blocking your enforcement bombers. Like, of course, I'm saying this after the fact.
Yeah,
so
but it happened.
Much
and we
easier for
can't-
me,
Exactly, but the thing is, we can't be corrected because we're in control of the microphone. Much like
Yeah,
heckling
yeah,
a
yeah.
stand-up comedian, this is just an inherent advantage that we have as casters. It's perks of the job. We get to point out every tiny mistake as if we'd have done differently. Still,
Yeah,
yeah,
actually, this game would be really easy to win. I would have won like 10 turns ago. Probably.
Yeah, we're saying turn 21. I'd probably gone for turn 9 victory. I won't exactly say how because it's kind of disrespectful to players, but certainly something that I would have considered doing, you know?
Yeah, but it's changed the dynamics of the game. Willibomb's question is, what do you do now that you're actually defending? The
Yeah,
South
crazy
Lake?
because I
You're
want
not
to
like,
point out 6 turns ago, I was thinking it was a wrap. With that massive push in the center, it felt to me like Willibomb had the momentum, had the income, had the economy to just push through. And yet those riders were able to bounce in and out. Willibomb stalled a little bit in the south and didn't quite push his advantage. Allowed Polycrystal to get into the south. And then there was this sort of northern front that didn't really go anywhere either way. What's your take on that?
Yeah,
I'm kind of flabbergasted, I guess. I guess I'm more than like the dynamics of like how it happened, which I think is, it feels like it's a simple explanation of like you needed to be more active, like get more units to help you out down there.
It's a little better.
You know, we can give it a more complex like write up too, but you know, the simple version, like get more units in the water there. Get those defenders earlier instead of going for like every other tech in the game. But
it does
after that, like
he's trying to now at least, and we'll see. He should start to have a more more dominant position in the South Lake.
Well, that was my question: was what does Willibomb want to do? Does he want to start going for some like range units on land to push back against this? And it seems like his solution is just going to be, I'm going to get more ports than you and brute force my way through this, which does seem like it's going to work for him too. So, I mean, just like a quick port count, you know, 6 ports against 3 ports down in the south. I mean, he could, you know, go ahead and pick up a 4th port if he wanted to down there, but yeah, Willibomb's controlling that most central port too of his giant, next to Yazan. The giant isn't in the water, but it's doing so much to control all of the movements of Polycrystal's units. Polycrystal might want to like start sacrificing those riders into it, but like you want to find a better way of dealing with this giant than that. I might see archery from Polycrystal too. I mean, they've got the income. The problem is there's some things like you haven't seen navigation from Polycrystal, and like even with markets, all of your stars start going into bombers and stuff in the late game, and just like actually training all your units. So that you know, happy-go-lucky, I can buy every tech in the game because I have markets. That doesn't really apply to these kind of naval games. I think this is the game with the best chance of actually going to tiebreakers. I don't know. Do you know how close we are on those?
Let me double check. To be clear, it's not tiebreaker. It's well,
oh, yes.
a judge's decision. Double check. We are currently sitting at 47. So 47. So I think we have 13 minutes left.
That's a good statistic.
Yeah, 13 minutes left, I'm being told. So,
but yeah, we just saw navigation picked up from Polycrystal. But yeah, if Willibomb tries to push forward with his own rammers and such, now Polycrystal has a good way to get some damage back against him. But I mean, it's kind of the same thing with Willibomb's bombers from earlier. They just don't really have anywhere to go, and they start blocking out your own ports, and they're too easy for your opponent to pick off in such a small lake. So you picked up the starfish with that, but I mean, you spent more stars picking up the tech, so kind of wondering where we're gonna see bombers from Polycrystal in the future. It's also kind of a situation where like, why not pick it up?
You know.
You've got plenty of stars. You got the markets.
I'll keep you updated on time, don't worry. I'll give you a 5-minute warning when the players are close to that ending. See here, Free Spirit, Chivalry.
There we go. Okay, it's a little weaker for Polycrystal picking up Chivalry.
Yeah, agreed.
Just because can't pick up the bridge where Willibomb can, and you'd have to get around this giant, and the defense bonus defender rammer, and the defender on the city, and then like what's the chain even? But I do like seeing this idea of pushing on water and in land. I think maybe like probably would have even preferred archers myself, but this feels like a strong play as well. So you can finally advance the one bomber. But yeah, Willibomb's making the play up in the north. Woo! Yeah, it's a question like, how do you want to deal with this? It looks like he's just going to siege with the warrior right now. and then deal some damage to the Juggernaut before sieging with his own giant on the next turn. But his complete dominance of that northern lake, I think it's I think this is the beginning of the end, because Willibomb's shown himself capable of defending all of his cities in the south, whereas it looks like that city up north is about to collapse. I don't see the knights breaking through either. Willibomb has 77 stars. He could go for knights of his own if he wanted to. I don't see why not. Maybe he wants archers. I like knights for him more. Like, go for that bridge. He doesn't have vision on your capital. Willibomb doesn't know that, but he does know that Polycrystal doesn't have vision on the East Lighthouse, so...
41 kills to 23, just to point out. It's crazy stuff.
They still have this, like, the same number of units. Like,
Yeah,
when
exactly.
did this happen?
I just don't think that this flies against Justini. I think Justini punishes this, personally. Alright, 42 kills. I think we're going to definitely get 46 within. That's 43.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous now, putting all of your units in range of these potential bombers. But look at the difference in income, too.
Yeah, the difference in income. You got that northern front is pretty much won. I think he was just kind of flip-flopping a little bit, you know? There was that central push, and then actually, no, I kind of want some units in the north, okay, but I also want some units in the south. You know, admittedly, he does have to keep him at arm's length. But yeah, we are. It comes down to can Willibomb get it done before
diplomacy.
the timer? Interesting. Gonna go around the back, maybe. Where's he gonna go with?
Yo, if he put like a cloak on that central city, I would have respected that. Not that it would have been a good idea, but I would have respected it.
Same thing with the sleep deprivation, I think.
I don't know if I respect that one though. So, Mr. Bomb, you got the cloaks.
Look at the unit count, by the way.
Pressing in.
Sorry, just to
Yeah.
highlight.
We're gonna see some units disappear with these couple bombers up in the front. See some more rammers here. They're doing really good damage trades here, but if Willibomb's able to go ahead and just pick off those two bombers, should be able to. He should be fine in the South Lake and continue to make progress up in the north. I'm still like really surprised that he went for diplomacy instead of chivalry. Because I'm looking at the riders there and I'm like, it feels like there's a, I don't know.
If ever there was a time to be chivalrous, it was then. Blends him in nicely here, though.
Yeah, I feel if Polycrystal had more stars, what they would really want to do is get border growth on Lazunu. And they do have the population for it, like Burn the Forest, Windmill, and Port. They would just give them another place to upgrade their rafts and ships from. Right now they're a little limited on that. They had like one more place where they could get a nice bomber, but they don't. So. Okay, Willibomb, you just gotta push back in the south a little bit. And then, yeah, you can hit those bombers, surely. Then after you hit those bombers, you just keep advancing in the north. How do you want to deal with this?
There we go.
There we go. Okay.
Took you long enough.
Do we see Knight on the capital? Like, fingers crossed.
She cloaks up north. I mean, we have 6 minutes remaining, or just over 5 minutes. I don't think those cloaks are going to get there in time.
Me neither. A knight might make it on the next turn, though, but...
Perhaps.
There it is,
There
yes! And this is a knight that Polycrystal cannot see.
Comes out of nowhere would be fantastic.
Yeah, I think we have very good chances of seeing a bridge into Massive Chain, into Resignation here, before the time's up. Very possible.
Got a little bit of time. and use it effectively.
Well, Willbomb's got to go ahead and decide how he wants to siege the city up in the north. Looks like he's going to drop the defender on it and block with the giant.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What's back?
Not blocking with the giant.
Why?
Why? Yeah.
Why?
This is like. This feels like, I don't know. I actually don't know.
47 kills, by the way. This game, I think, has had more kills than every other qualifier combined. You know, there's a chance. The maths might not math, but there's a chance.
Go do some more statistics.
Look, that's in between. I'll get you some good ones later. Don't worry.
Yeah. Ooh. It's you know, the way to a Polytopia player is hard.
Statistics.
You know, he's gotta tell them. I got so many statistics.
I got so many statistics. All right. Such a slow,
defending again.
inexorable. You think maybe he was trying to? Now this could be okay. I'm gonna suggest something, and if I'm right, this could be really smart. You think maybe he's trying to just lower the health of the riders, so we could just go do. Let's see why he'd do that. Go straight
Yeah, like you can lower the health of the riders by putting your giant in
This
front.
is true. This is very true.
The riders die in retaliation.
It's fun though.
I feel like he really wanted to get the Night Chain. Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
See it.
Here we go.
Put the bridge down. Put the bridge down.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah.
Hello.
This is good too. Bridge same place.
Did he?
Okay, so if this does not lead to a resignation, I don't know what to say.
Yeah. But let's get ready for it. For those of you at home who do not know what is special about a night and why we're interested about it, you'll see very, very shortly with any luck. Oh, I'm talking about momentum. He's teasing us. He's doing everything.
He's doing it slowly. No, no!
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 Oh, God! Willibomb wins, which is what we were expecting, but we thought we'd get to see a massive chain from Willibomb into Polycrystal. But Polycrystal resigns.